So go ahead, start from the beginning. So you say you quit your full-time job, bro. I gotta
Yeah,
hear
I
this.
quit my
Yeah.
full-time
All
job.
right. So go ahead.
I was a studio manager for a personal training studio here in DC, and and I basically if I could be fully transparent,
Now be transparent, bro. Be
uh,
transparent. I would hear this because I would just I can't even say, bro. But like I need to hear this.
all right, so basically, um, I told you I quit my full-time job, but the prerequisite to that was I was a college athlete. I ran track and field in Alabama for
Yeah.
college, and long story short, I made a couple decisions that weren't in my best interest, and I had to go to prison for it. So I came
Okay.
into college as a student athlete, and I left as a felon. And
Wow.
when I was incarcerated, I prayed and I told God, I was like, if you let me out of this situation, I'm a do better with my life, but I'm also gonna be that person to kids who think like me when I was this age. So long story short, I finally got my release date, and I wanted to prove to myself and prove to my family that I could make something of myself from a positive standpoint. And that's what led me to that personal training job that I'm telling you about. I did that for 2 years. I was 22 at the time. I was 22 at the time. I worked that job for 2 years, and I worked my way up. I was like an intern, and then I, became like a personal trainer. They have like little titles, master trainer or whatever they want to call it. And I ultimately quit the job. And it's brutal in the beginning because it's the proof of concept phase. So up until that point, I only made money for other businesses, but I never made money for myself in this industry. So to get people support you, but when you start asking for money, now it's like I ain't really trying to mess with it. So I went through that. Now, trying to get people to believe in what I was doing. I was I was shoot. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was proposing to her. I had just bought an engagement ring, so it was a lot of moving
Yeah.
parts going on. I'm like, yo, I gotta pay the bills, and I have to look as if I could be the man of the house to hold it down. And it was just rough, man. Consistent income wasn't coming in, and you second guess yourself. Is this really what I need to be doing? Should I go get another job? Should how am I gonna make ends meet and stuff like that. And for me, it was a pride thing. I was like, you can't make this stand of quitting your job and then go back and put an application in. I'm sure I could have, and nobody would look at me different, but I just felt like that would have been backtracking. So I'm like, nah, that's corny. I'm not really trying to quit, tell people I quit, and then you see me working at Radio Shack or something like that. I'm not doing that. So I was like,
Yeah.
you in it. You got to figure it out.
Got you. Got
So God was on my side. It started to pick up. What I did was I went on Facebook and I was just like, yo, any parent or anybody that has children, I'm willing to train your kid for free. I just need 5 kids. Because at that time, it wasn't that I didn't know what I was doing. It was I didn't have the exposure. Nobody knew about me. So I'm like, if I just get somebody to take a chance on me, it's a wrap. That was just the confidence that I possessed at the time because I'm like, I really want to make a difference. I had that fire in me. I told you my story. So it was like I felt like I owed that to my city. So long story short, I got 5 parents to invest in to allow their kids to come work with me, and we did what we were supposed to do. We accomplished a lot of results. They did their thing in their sports, which led to um that high school that these kids were attending. Their coaches calling me and wanting me to kind of duplicate that process at the school. So that was my into the school. So now I'm known as like the strength coach for this particular high school. Quality work speaks for itself. Word of mouth, kind of took over, and we went through the entire season, and now it goes to okay. So what are you doing in the summer? My son wants to maintain this, and blah blah blah. It became a business, and I didn't have the whole plan formulated in my brain as to what I wanted to do. I just know I wanted to be around kids. But as you start talking to these kids and seeing where they are and meeting them where they are, you start seeing the individual needs of them. So I'm like, okay, my strength and conditioning can be a communication tool to give these kids life skills because I was noticing, they wasn't ready for society. I'm like, okay, it's cool that you bench press 350, but you got four Ds. Like we training the wrong thing. So it's like we need to figure out how we can find this balance because I didn't want to be that program that was known for, having quality athletes but not quality students.
Serious, yeah.
So yeah, so I just started outsourcing. All right, this person he might need SAT prep. This person is struggling in math. This person has a tough situation at home that they're dealing with. They might don't have dinner every night. It just depends. We're dealing with under resourced kids. You never know what you're gonna experience. So that kind of led me to different schools and other people showing more interest. And before you know it, the business was like on autopilot. And I just wanted to hone my skills as a coach. So I was like, you know what? If I'm preparing kids for the next level, I need to be in those rooms at the next level and kind of see what it's like from an athlete standpoint. I mean, from a coach's standpoint, because all I know is an athlete standpoint. So I started to go to like little conferences and clinics and stuff like that. So I ended up going to an Ohio State clinic and met some of the strength coaches there, just picking their brain. How did you get here? What's the best path for me to get in college sports? And, just building that connection. I went to that conference for 3 years straight, I believe. And
That's
then
what's up.
COVID hit. Yeah, COVID hit. I got to a point where I was able to get these coaches' numbers. We're on a text
Yep,
basis, we're on an email basis. I'm sending motivation in the morning. I'm consistent.
yep,
COVID
yep.
hits and a job opens up. They call me, hey, how you doing? Are you interested in interning with our football program? At the time, I never did it. Hell yeah, I want to go to Ohio State. I never did it.
Yeah,
But I didn't
that's
know,
cool.
yeah, but I didn't know what it took to be a college strength and conditioning coach. They don't have no job description for positions like that. It's just like you think, I get to lift weights with some of the best athletes in the world. Sign me up right now. And
That's totally different. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's totally different. It was a punch in the mouth. The demand for excellence, the accountability, the consistency, the relentlessness, all that was a punch in the mouth, especially coming from private sector. And it was a little of an ego thing for me in the beginning because up until this point, I'm used to being the one calling the shots. So when you tell me go sprint to go pick up a dumbbell and a water bottle, I'm like, that's not really my thing. I'm gonna go get it, but watch who you talking to. I had like a chip on my shoulder. So, I didn't maximize my time in the beginning. And they will tell you this as well, like the coaches will tell you this. Um, and I just I've always just had my own brain. If I don't feel something, I'm not in it. So there was a coach who I connected with at the clinic who was still coaching there. He pulled me to the side. He like, look, it was 5 interns. He said, you have the potential to be the director of a big program if you just stay the course. We're not trying to be on you every single day to be an asshole. We're trying to bring out the best in you. So if you just humble yourself and embrace this, where you can go is going to be well beyond anybody that works here. And when he told me that, it kind of gave me goosebumps because I was like, all right, he sees something in me that I don't see in myself. And for him to say that after so many people have come through this room, I have to be, a special individual. So, I welcomed it. I embraced it. I changed my mindset and I just finished that internship, with integrity. That and in this industry, your word and your name goes a long way. So
Long way, long way.
whoever
Yeah,
whoever you are, whatever your label is, whatever you're known for, I don't care if you move to California or Hawaii, that's gonna go with you.
yeah.
So I was able to secure another position at University of Maryland. I came back home, same football program, just kind of duplicating this process. Now it's working your way up the ladder. Maryland was a great stop, but Maryland was trying to win the Big 12, the Big 10. Ohio State was trying to win the national championship. So the intensity was a lot different. So I'm bringing the Ohio State mindset to Maryland, and it's like I'm running around with my hair on fire because that's what I'm used to. So they
Right.
love it. They're like, yo, keep
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up, keep
yeah.
it up. I did well, build great relationships, and at that point, it's just climbing the ladder. What can I do to provide value and get to the next position? I'm still interning. I'm still getting no money. I'm still making sacrifices. I'm married at the time, and
Yeah, I
I'm
was
just
gonna
trying
ask you
to
about that.
prove that. Yeah, I'm trying to prove that one, the game plan that I set out to have is going to work. And I don't even know myself sometimes. Like I don't really know because they talking about 4 a.m. to 6 p.m., $1,000 a month. I don't know if that's gonna make it. It just doesn't make sense. But I just had a great support system. I worked my way through different universities. I had the opportunity to work at San Diego State. We went to the national championship for basketball. From there, that opened up a position at Texas Southern, um, where I was the director of a program. I actually interviewed for the Oklahoma Thunder position before Texas Southern, and they told me had I had a master's degree and have run my own program, I probably would have got the position. So that let me know I'm at the door, but I'm not there yet. So when the TSU position opened up, when they said, you can be the director of our program and you can get your master's, it was a no-brainer. I'm moving to Texas. I can check off these boxes. And at that time, it was I'm gonna go reapply for the Thunder because there's no way you could deny me now from anything from my position. Um, it didn't go as planned. TSU was different. I was working with a different demographic of kids, and it challenged me as a coach from a standpoint of basically how do you motivate the unmotivated? And these were different kids.
Mhm.
And I had to do some soul searching. I mean, I was ready to like stop coaching. I thought I had a problem with myself, and I
Really?
realized every school that I've been at was so elite that these kids were on autopilot doing whatever it took to be professional athletes. Even if they weren't going to make it, they had in their brain that I'm going to be a pro. So I would do whatever it takes to be a pro. Now you're dealing with kids who are just happy to have earned their scholarship. How do you motivate somebody that feels like they already accomplished? So it was tough for me because I'm used to, you know, sending out the game plan and you taking off. Now it's like I gotta get you excited about being something more than average and still get the results. So it was tough for me. I was gonna stop coaching. I prayed about it. I told my family I was done coaching. I accepted the decision, and I was just trying to finish the year out. I was just trying to finish the year out, and the season ended. I'm finishing up my master's degree, and the Mystics called. The Mystics called me. I actually met them 5 years ago as I'm going through like my clinics and stuff, but no position opened up. Um, my boss at that moment, my boss now texts me and say, "Hey, position opened up. We're finally bringing on assistant strength coaches in the WNBA. I remember we met 5 years ago. Would you be interested?" In my brain, hell yeah, I'd be interested. I'm going to be a professional strength and conditioning coach, and I feel like I thrive in environments where the pressure is on. So I wanted to experience that. And they took a chance on me. They brought me in, they welcomed me with open arms, and they were just as excited about me as I was excited about them. She appreciated the growth in my journey because when I first met her, I didn't have any schools on my resume. So to see how much I had done in that short time period, she respected it, and she was in a position to, help me grow as a coach. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Um, just just staying relentless, staying hungry, staying consistent, being known as the hardest worker, building the rapport with the athletes, and just being the best version and the same version of yourself every single day goes a long way. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to see how they do things in the WNBA as opposed to college, putting my twist on it, and motivating pros and bringing the best out of them, and hopefully going to the playoffs and winning the championship. So that's where we are right now, and just gonna keep grinding.
Yeah, no, I mean that's very inspirational. Like honestly, like wow, like so basically when you were about to end coaching, that's when a light opened up for you.
The breakthrough
That
happened.
yeah,
The
yeah, no,
breakthrough
that's
happened.
so what was that time like? What was it like? I know you said you had told your family, you talked to everybody. So what were you gonna do next then? If you had to quit coaching, like what was the next step for you? Like if you had another step for
So I don't now where I'm at right now. I don't look at it. So I felt like I was taking a step back because I was like,
okay,
it's a pride thing. It's an ego thing. I left my city being known for one thing. So I feel like from a respect standpoint, it was like you have to get better every time you pop out. Like you have to show that you have improved. So for me to come back home, I felt like, people gonna look at me different. People gonna think he a failure. People gonna say I told you so. So I was gonna be a teacher. And coincidentally, I still signed up to be a teacher. and be a mentor because my heart is with kids. And like I said, I feel like that was a step back, but really, that's my calling. That's my alignment. That's what I should be doing. It just in addition to coaching professional athletes. So what I was going to do was be a gym teacher, and that's what I'm doing now, being a gym teacher. And
Mhm.
I'm doing that in conjunction with working with professional athletes. So we'll be starting up on Monday, and that's just a different path that I'm taking. We'll see what happens, and
Wow,
go from there.
congrats. Yeah, congrats. Honestly, I think I was talking to my friend the other day. Working with kids are the future. So like if you like you said, you working with kids that didn't have a bunch of things that you understand, like you're preparing them for life. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I feel like it's hard when you don't have guidance as a kid to prepare you for life. And honestly, so
sure.
now shout out to you, bro. Like for real.
Yeah, I
How
appreciate that.
so you got any certifications? Like, did you take any courses? Like, what did you like take to like build up your resume in the strength conditioning world to like get to this point where you're at right now?
When I first started, I was working in colleges. I was working in high schools and I was working with track teams. That's my background, track and field. So, I went to the USATF conferences and stuff like that to
Sure.
be like track and field certified. I realized that in the collegiate setting and the pro setting, you have to have your CSCS. So that's something
Mm-hmm.
that, has been on the forefront for me. And then once you get to a certain point, you have to figure out what direction you're going to go in. So it's not enough just to be a strength coach. You either where the industry is going, you have to be a strength coach and a sports scientist, or you have to be a strength coach and a PT. So for me, I didn't want to do the medical field. Shout out to the medical field, but it was just too slow for me personally. I wanted to be in performance. I was somebody that thought I was going to go to PT school. And I saw the curriculum. I'm like, nah, it might not be the best route for me. So, um, I've been thrown into the sports science stuff. I'm not the master of it by no means, but it worked hand in hand with the different jobs that I've been at. So it was natural to kind of, okay, let me own this and see how I can master, one of these testing modules or own this. So, you have your catapults and your Connexon and your force plates and things like that, just so that, you can have more data driven based results to
Right,
better program.
right.
Um, Degrees are irrelevant. Just being hungry for knowledge. I mean, those are the baselines. You definitely want to have your degree. You want to have your certification, your CSCS, and wherever you go from then is like kind of finding your niche. What are you going to own? You could be a nutrition person. You can be, like I said, the sports sciences. You could be the PT route. It just depends on
Mm-hmm.
what your goals are, and they kind of go from there. For me, I was performance and sports science. I didn't really pick sports science, but I'm picking it over PT because I'm like,
PT, yeah,
mentally where I'm at, I'm like, I don't really want to do that many more hours, that many more years of school. I'm done.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
no,
done.
it's too much, yeah.
It was a
Um,
lot, and if again, that's for some people, that's that's what they want to do. Like for me, I had no intentions of going back to college. I remember I didn't finish because I got in trouble. So
yeah,
when I started working at Ohio State, they gave me an opportunity to finish my degree and graduate from a school that was credible. So it was
that's
cool
what's up.
to go get back in there. And I never wanted no master's degree. I never thought about it, but it just it flew with the job. I mean, it
Right,
just flew
right,
with the
right,
job. So it's like, all right,
right.
I think I can get my master's degree. So here I am wrapping it up, and crazy enough, looking at doctorates, and I'm like, every time I'm about to graduate, I tell myself I'm not looking at another book again. But the moment that you stop learning and being relevant in the industry is the moment where your career is stagnant. And I look around at me, and if again being super transparent, sometimes you feel like you have an imposter syndrome because it's like
Right.
you in rooms with people who have 100 degrees. You be like, I know this person is smarter than me, but then you like, but you here for a reason too. Like that you can feed off of them, but it's intimidating. Just it's been intimidating for me sometimes in certain rooms. So because I'm prideful, because I want to be the best at what I do, I have to keep growing. I have to keep learning. So in my downtime, you need to learn and see how you can maximize these four plates. tracking the A cell and D cell on the catapults to see how you can make more efficient movers with your athletes laterally or anything like that. Seeing how somebody produces force and how you can better program to allow them to produce and absorb force better. Just whatever your niche is going to be, you got to keep learning and keep growing because the industry is always evolving. Technology is the thing, and sports science is like it seems like it's the driver right now. So if you don't have at least an understanding or a baseline of it, like you're setting yourself up for a disservice and you're not going to keep your relevance because you have to be able to have certain conversations with medical professionals that you are not going to be able to have unless you have this knowledge and this baseline. And that's what I'm learning at the professional level, that you're sitting in rooms with doctors who are making suggestions to sport coaches. And if you can't communicate your side of what you do to maximize that player, you're probably not going to be the best person for the job. So you better be learning. You better be tightening up your skills. You better keep staying sharp because they're going to pick the next person.
No, for sure, for sure. So what have you learned? What have you learned now that you went from D1 college, you went from high school, now you're at the professional level with the WNBA, where the WNBA is booming right now. Honestly,
Yeah.
in the next couple of years, who knows where the WNBA is going to be? But what have you learned, like from that level of like I guess sports and athletics and stuff? Like, what are
I
some
think
things?
it was like what I was saying with the sports science. I think everything's more data driven. In the beginning, I wanted to be like one of the best program designers. I wanted to pride myself on giving you the best experience. But how can data and science defend what you have written on paper versus just your verbiage? And I think when you have more documentation on paper and you can prove the why and show someone the why and show someone who doesn't even know anything about your industry why this is the appropriate progression and periodization for this athlete, that's when you know that you're on the right path, because there's no one answer to get someone better. But if you can prove why the system that you have, you believe in the system that you have, and it works, you're gonna go to a far way. But if you don't know why you're doing something or you can't defend it, then you probably setting yourself up. We just want to know the why. Does it work? Why it works? And can you prove that it works?
Right, right, right. Are there anybody that you follow like now that helps you or like, keeps you motivated to keep going? Like any like coaches or strength coaches or PTs or sports science people that you could name right now that like, helps you continue to grow you know, as a strength
Man,
coach?
I got man, it's so many people, bro.
I bet, I
It's so
bet.
many
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
It's so many people that have poured into me. I say this all the time when people ask me. I would not be where I'm at if people didn't take a chance on me. I'm if you look on paper, and my mom always correct me when I say this, but I wasn't supposed to be in certain places that I've been. And she was like, nah, you supposed to be there. Act like you're supposed to be there. But people really took a chance on me and they poured into me. They saw my potential. Um, I owe my entire career to Quinn Barham. He was an assistant strength coach at Ohio State. He's now the director of strength and conditioning at Coastal Carolina. We both were working up under Coach Mickey Marotti. He's to some people known as the best strength coach in the industry. Um, Justin Landry, he's the director of basketball performance at Georgia Tech. We worked together at San Diego State. He took the men's basketball team to the national championship. This is somebody who also pours into me, not only poured into me, but made sure that I was okay as a man and as a professional. Always make sure that he looks out for me. Um, Willie Cruz, Houston Rockets director of performance. He's the one that kind of gave me like what it takes to be, a pro. Like, how do you become a pro? Michael Ashton, this person is, I call him my silent partner. He's the one that has navigated my entire career from back when you had to make a LinkedIn and just send an email to people and get somebody to respond to you.
Right, right.
Like I reached out to him in 2014, and Michael Ashton, he was with the Oklahoma Thunder at the time, director of PT. Good guy for you to know too. He's on the PT side. Um, he man, he did everything for me. So fast forward to today, he works for the Wizards. So when I got this position, it was just it was an embrace. It was a hug. Like, thank you for
Right,
everything. This is a full circle moment because I
right.
was just an undergrad student when I met you, and now we're colleagues together. And it was just a thank you. Um, so many people. Andrew Paul, he's the now current director of OKC. He's the one that interviewed me for the position. Kevin Wilson, assistant strength coach for the LA Lakers. These are all people who man, just give me the real. Give me the real. Tell me what it is like. Tell me what I need to do. Keep me sharp. Keep me on point. There's so many professionals in the industry that I can name that have had a hand in my development. And I'm just grateful. So I feel like in the industry, it's your duty to identify these mentors, not let them down, but then you have to then go give that back to somebody who needs it as well. So that's kind of what I try to do now. I see people who are young in the industry or who just need guidance and direction and just pour into them like somebody poured into me. If it wasn't for somebody taking a chance on me, I wouldn't be here. So I'm just trying to make sure I do that for other people as well. And that's how you make a generational impact, which is the ultimate goal for me in doing anything that I want to do. When my days are over, I want to be known for how I helped grow somebody, how I made them feel, and what we were able to accomplish together with the positive work.
Nah, nah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. So I want to say, like, man, like, thank you for the time, and honestly, really, really just look at the body of work that you've, made in this in your life so far. Being a strength coach, you got the nonprofit, you're gym teacher, you're helping out so many different individuals and kids as well too. And I want to hear like what advice, like, what's the most important advice you give kids, now, especially like the athletes, the ones that don't feel like they have it in life or they can't make it in life. Like, what is something that you would give those kids, if like, or give yourself when you were a
Mhm.
kid, as advice?
I think one of the biggest challenges that kids are experiencing these days is lack of exposure to positivity. Everything that we're surrounded is social media driven, and you can kind of pick and choose what is being poured into your brain. So if all I'm saying is being a rapper or being a drug dealer or being a corner cutter, whatever it might be, that's what I'm going to gravitate towards. So I think it's important that exposure around more positive, like-minded people or just positive people is going to help your brain expand to start thinking outside the box. I didn't know that a strength and conditioning coach was a profession. I thought, like, even now, like my mom tell me all the time, you need to raise your prices, raise your price. I'm like, it's crazy to me that somebody will pay this price just to work
Mm,
out.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's me from an athlete standpoint where I'm like, you want to get in shape? All right, go work out. Like, it's easy. Go work out. But meeting somebody where they at, they don't have the motivation. They don't have the exercise library. They don't know what to do. They're battling with mental health. You never know what somebody's dealing with. So I think that just having more exposure to a positive environment is going to challenge your brain to being more creative. Not saying that everybody has to, have a 9 to 5 or start their own nonprofit. But I think that when you're exposed to more positive people and environments, it'll challenge you to see what it is you want to do for yourself. I figured out that my calling is the service of others. I figured out that I I thrive in giving back to people. I thrive in making you your best version of yourself. That's how I feel fulfilled. So you have to figure out what your lane is, figure out what you do well at. I build rapport well with people. I can connect with people. So I say, all right, I'm going to use my interest and my skill set to make someone better, which is my rapport building and my athleticism. And
yeah,
then I put the book knowledge behind it, and now I want to make you a better human. However I can do that, I'm gonna do it. And
yeah,
you gotta figure out what your lane is. Whatever your lane is, you're not gonna know until you expose yourself to certain stuff and trying different things. Just like when I told you I thought I was gonna be a PT. It wasn't until I started doing PT stuff, I'm like, yo, it's math science. I'm not
it's
doing
mad
all this.
science. Yeah,
I don't. It's just not for me. So I was like, all
right,
right, you know what? I still want to stay connected to it, but how can I do it and make it work for me? So exposure, man, putting yourself out there. You need to find a mentor. If you don't got nobody that's in the position that you even think you want to be in, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because how you gonna get ready if you're not around it? You want to be a pro, you need to be around pros. If you want to be whatever, you need to be around that. It wasn't until I got around it where I'm like, yo, I got work to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it keep that fire, it keep that fire on you if this is really what you want to do. Because it's like, all right, I thought I was nice, but I don't
Yeah,
even want to. I don't even want to show this person my program. That's how intimidated I am. No, I don't
nah,
even want
yeah,
you to
nah,
ask me the why because I don't know if I can defend it to you. So it's just man, just having mentors, man, just exposure. That's it.
yep,
I think
yep,
the rest will work out for itself and just being relentless. It's gonna be days where you gonna want to quit. I have thought about not doing what I'm doing for years, multiple times, and and you have to realize, for me, I had to realize it's bigger than me. If I quit, how many people are not going to get what they need? I'm not the end all be all, but I'm filling a void that a lot of people's void wouldn't be filled if it wasn't for the benefit of my program. So for that little section of the world, I got to own it and I have to put my personal emotions to the side and achieve something that has a cause bigger than myself.
mhm,
And when you identify what that lane is, you got to chase it. I'm at a
yeah,
point now where it's like, all right, if I get 10 people to speak on me, I would like to think that those 10 people will say, I appreciate him because he helped change my life in whatever capacity it was. And I'm gonna keep growing, I'm gonna keep building, I'm gonna keep, becoming the best version of myself. And as I do that, it's my hope that I can continue to bring out the best version of you.
nah, that's what's up, man. Thank you, Coach Dommo. Thank you, thank you.